Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at the ES features. This is our 240-minute chart, and you see over the last several days we've had pretty good sell-off in the ES. Nice big drop down here on our 240-minute chart, and then we put in this big low right here, formed a reversal doji, and it was on bullish divergence. See how we made a lower low in price and a higher low in momentum? So we had bullish divergence, we had a reversal doji that triggered to the upside, fast and slow line on momentum crossed back to the upside, and this bar that triggered this reversal doji is a very bullish bar. Left this bottoming tail, entire body of this bar was all buying, and you can see ever since this bullish divergence and the reversal doji that the ES has been climbing back up again. We got back above the 200. You see we stalled there. We know the 200 EMA and the 50 EMA are significant support and resistance on this chart. And you can see we ran up to it, stalled, pulled back, pushed above it, pulled back to it again, pushed above it, pulled back, and made it support. And then we just continued to climb higher, broke above the 50 EMA, got a close above the 50 EMA, and then continuing to push higher. So coming into today, again, this is a 4-hour chart. So coming into today, our bias was definitely to the upside. We had triggered the bullish divergence, triggered the reversal doji. All of our moving averages had crossed back to the upside. The 5 and 13 had crossed to the upside. Price was above both of the major moving averages, which act as resistance, and we had positive momentum. So our bias was definitely to the upside. Here's our 30-minute chart. And you see when we first came in this morning, the ES, we were kind of chopping sideways. See, doji. Then we had a news release, and news actually triggered this to the downside. You can see that we broke underneath the low of those two dojis, pushed down, actually broke under the 200, pushed down, touched significantly undervalued on the value charts, but then the traders had time to digest the news and decide what they really wanted to do with that. And you can see that the buyers stepped in and absorbed all of this selling, leaving this big bottoming tail and keeping the uptrend intact. Because again, our previous pivot low was back here, which was at 41.22 and a quarter. Now this came close, 41.22 and 3/4, but did not break the low of the previous low, therefore keeping our uptrend intact. So again, we had a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and so on. So our uptrend was still intact. We triggered this reversal doji on the next bar. The bar opened right here, pushed down a little, left the bottoming tail, then the entire body of this bar was all buying. Triggered in the reversal doji, followed up but with a really bullish bar, opened at the bottom, closed at the top. Our initial target was 41.49. We triggered in the reversal doji at 41.35 because it was one tick above 41.34 and 3/4. So we had a nice 14-point run to the upside, or $700 per contract, and that was pretty much a easy trade too. We took no heat on that, and again, pretty quick, $700 per contract. His significantly overvalued. So, and again, our initial target was right here. Obviously broke above that. ES stayed bullish and is still bullish, pushing higher on into the afternoon here. But again, our initial target was right there at 41.49, a fairly simple $700 per contract. Again, good place to consider taking profits considering we were significantly overvalued at that point. And we did end up making a bit of a pullback here before we continued higher. But nice big bottoming tail on the 30-minute chart that led to a fairly simple $700 per contract into target.